and welcome back to another video. So I was just sitting here working in Hanna Karlzon's Magical Dawn. I absolutely love this coloring book, and I don't know if you've seen a few videos back where I did a rainbow watercolor background. If you've not seen that video, I'll go ahead and link that in the upper right hand corner. But I have come back to continue to work on this page, and I thought, let me pull out the camera so everyone can see what I'm doing, because at this point it's very, very mixed media. And so I wanted to share some of the things I was doing on this page because I wanted to be able to encourage all of you to bring out your other supplies. You don't have to just use colored pencils on your coloring pages. You could bring out lots of other things. I've got so much going on this page, so I just wanted to be able to share it with you. And I also wanted to share my mistake and sort of discuss how I was going to fix it. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that in this video. That may be in a next one. If you check the description box down below, you'll find everything that you see in this video down there so that you can easily find it, as well as links to my email list, my Patreon, my Etsy shop, and I also now have channel membership. If you join that, you'll get a few little extra perks. If you'd like to find out more information for that, you could just click the little join button down below. So this is the page that I've been working on, and I've been sitting here just pulling out lots of other things, mainly Posca, and I just went to go pull out my acrylic paint. So I wanted to just discuss with you and show you how I've done some of these things and talk about some of the mistakes that I feel like I made on this page when I did bring out different coloring supplies or mediums that were new to me, or try different techniques that were new to me as well. So looking at this page, you'll see that I wanted to make it very rainbow-like, and I found this page and I thought it was absolutely perfect because it said rainbow dust on here, and I wanted to be able to do the rainbow watercolor background tutorial for all of you. I'm not very good with watercolors. I have been practicing quite a lot since I've done this page, but you could see here that the watercolor did not distribute the way that I would like it to. I may have added too much water, not enough water, or maybe not enough color. And so I do need to figure out how to go back and fix that. I actually didn't think that I was going to continue with this page, and I was just sitting here and I pulled it out and I started working on it. So I worked on this rainbow dust, or what I would call rainbow dust. I wanted to make it look like it was rainbow dust all down here inside the bottle, and then I did grays on the bottle. I actually went all around it with white Posca just to sort of outline it and separate it from the actual background. I've actually used quite a lot of Posca on this page. You can see that I've used Posca all around here to really make it stand out. And then here for the gemstone, I used a couple of blues here. So I started out with this rainbow dust. So I decided I wanted to bring the blues that I put down here up into the top part of the bottle and then make this gemstone sort of the same colors, and then start pulling that color down just a little bit. So that's why I have all the blues here, and I actually used some Posca to put a little bit of reflection in this little design here on the bottle. And I would like to do a video where I demonstrate this rainbow dust that I created here, where I just sort of picked some colors and put them all together and created this. I really loved the way that it turned out. I was a little unhappy here at the bottom. This is where I started it, and so I've got orange and yellow, which those are the two colors that would go seamlessly together. So that part looks really good, but I did have to come back here and erase some of this. I started where I had a whole lot of yellow and a whole lot of orange, and then all of the other sections all in and around where I have this rainbow dust, I made all of the sections much smaller, and I liked the way that it looked much better. And then I came back in here and I tried to add some blues, and I didn't like the way that it looked. So I came back with my favorite eraser, which is this one right here, and I pulled that color up, and then I went back over it with the yellow that I was using. And I believe it's Deco Yellow that I used. That is this beautiful, bright, vibrant yellow. And then this orange color that I used was the Sunburst Yellow. I try to get some of the most brightest colors that I could possibly get from each one of the color families that I used. And then I came back with a darker shade just to give it a little bit of contrast. But I would like to come back here and maybe add some Posca over here where the rainbow dust is, and maybe work on a little bit of this and see what I can come up with and sort of talk my way through it as I go through the video. So the next thing I wanted to do, I had started to pull out some acrylic paint, and I wanted to make all of these gold gold and add a lot of gold or a good amount of gold in here where I have these little patterns and such. So I have this right here. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was $2.29 and the brand is Delta. This is what it looks like if you'd like to pick some of it up at the store. I'm sure they sell this in quite a few places. You could probably even get something similar at Walmart, but this is a pretty true gold. It's just a metallic gold paint. And then I picked up one of my very small brushes here. And so I'm going to use this to go ahead and fill in some of these areas and add some gold to this because I just think gold would look very, very pretty. I did come up here and I started adding white with Posca, going over all of these little dots, and I was going to do the stars in white as well, but the background is really, really light, so the white is not showing up. So I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to go and try to add gold on top of it. And the whole point of this video is I want to just go over some things and show y'all how I come back and I fix some things that I don't like and how I'm using different mixed media on this page and how it just all really comes together and looks really, really pretty. So we're going to use the Posca. I'm going to do a little bit with acrylic paint, and I really need to figure out how I'm going to fix what I don't like about the background. And then these as well here. I think I want gold stars, but I may have to white out the stars first. I don't know where I'm going with that yet, so we will see. And I was going to use silver on all of this, but I don't think that the silver will really stand out from the gray that I did in the bottle. So I just squeezed a little bit of my acrylic paint over here off to the side on a piece of paper, and so that's how I'm going to be picking it up. But I love, love, love this rainbow effect that I did here. And there's another page in this book that I could possibly show you how I did that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this acrylic paint, and then after the acrylic paint dries, I'm also going to go over this with some glitter. And y'all know me, you know that I absolutely love stickles. So of course it's going to be stickles, but I just think that's going to be super, super pretty. And do you see how the acrylic paint just covers up those black lines so that you can't see them anymore? And that's sort of my objective with this page, is to cover up a lot of the line art. And so that's why I grabbed my Poscas, and then I decided to grab my acrylic paint because those are the two mediums that I have found that are best when you want to cover your line art. But look how pretty that is. And I'm also going to add the gold in other places on this page. And the brush that I'm using, I'm pretty sure that I purchased this brush on Amazon. Uh-oh. So when you mess up something, when you're using paints or when you're using Posca or anything like that, I always just come back with my finger and I pull it up and then I just reapply. I am never, ever, ever afraid of mistakes. And that was the whole reason, or one of the reasons I wanted to make this video. I wanted to make this video for lots of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is because I really felt like I made a mistake on this page with the watercolor background, because after I did the video, I came back and did more, and I didn't like the way that it dried, and I am determined to figure out how to fix it. And so I just continued with this page, not really knowing where it was going to go, but I continued with it anyway because I knew that if I liked the way the rest of it was turning out, that would encourage me. Pull some of this up. But I knew if I liked the way that it was turning out, that would encourage me to come back and fix some of the things that I didn't care for or where I felt like I made mistakes. But I love this gold paint, and I love using acrylic paint in my coloring books. And if you're wanting to use other mediums in your coloring books, these Hanna Karlzon books are fantastic books to do that. The paper will get a little bit wrinkled, but I find that I really don't mind that, and it does well with the other mediums. Oh, I wish I had something thinner to pull some of this up. That worked. See, you can always find a way to fix things. But yeah, I think this brush is from Amazon, and it's really teeny, teeny, tiny. When you're trying to get into small spaces with something like acrylic paint or another medium, you need to make sure that you have the right brush, because I do want to come in here and make sure that I cover a lot of the black lines because I don't want to see those at all. And I am going to use this acrylic paint, I think, on the background, but I do need to come back and I need to fix the background first before I go doing that. But I also want to add gold in these little spaces here and see how that looks. And I also want to make all the stars gold, but I do need to come back with the Posca first because I want to add a little bit of Posca where I created this rainbow dust. And I wanted to be able to show y'all how to do the rainbow dust in this video, but I don't want the video to go on too long. And now I'm gonna have a wet page after I do some of these other things. So I'm not going to be able to flip the page to work on the page that I wanted to demonstrate the rainbow dust on. So if you want to see that video, let me know in the comments below. I will surely come back and do that in another video. But I think I have covered most of the lines, and I think that looks really pretty. So let me turn this just a little bit more. Again, I want to get rid of all of those lines there. And it is so much fun to bring other mediums in when you're coloring and not just use just your colored pencils. I think I need to leave a little bit of the black lines there just because I want to be able to see that this is an actual tie here. And you can also come back with a black fine liner and go over some of those lines so that you can see the different sections. Like right here I've got that tie, and then here they're just sort of wrapped or laced around. And I haven't decided on a color yet for the rest of these gemstones, but I'm thinking that they should probably be blue so that I could start bringing that blue throughout the rest of the page. You will notice as I first lay down the acrylic paint that it is a little bit transparent, but if you come back and lay down another layer of it, it will make it more opaque and definitely cover those black lines. And here again, I'm going to do my little trick right here and get this up because I went outside the line. And I could always come back again and fix that if it doesn't come all the way up the way that I want it to. And I don't know how long it's going to take this to dry. I might have to pause the video before I come back and add the glitter because I want these gold ribbons to really sparkle. But even if you make a mistake and you go out of the lines just a little bit, somebody else looking at your coloring page is not going to see that little tiny piece where you went out of the lines just a little bit. Once it all comes together and everything is done and complete, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to come back and do a little bit with my Posca here. And I love the way that my gemstone up here turned out. And the way that I did that is I used these two colors here. I used blue denim and what is this, blue lake. And I also used cream to add a little bit of pop here right in the middle. That is one of my favorite highlight colors. And the lightest of the colors is also a little bit of this sky blue light. So it's kind of a mixture of the sky blue light and the cream. And then I came back with my Posca and I just sort of drew some lines over it. And I wanted to be able to demonstrate that on video. And I probably should have turned the camera on before I did that one because I looked through this whole rest of the book and I can't find another gemstone or top of the bottle that is just like that one. And I don't think that I have another copy of this coloring book. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just add a little bit of Posca over here where I did the rainbow dust. And like I said, I did use this Posca and I went all the way around. And I want to do a little bit more because now that it's dried, I want to cover up a little bit more of where it was fairly dark. And when I'm using the Posca like that, I always come back with my fingers. And somebody did actually ask me to do a video where I show how to use Posca to outline. And so that is another reason I wanted to do this video. But with the Posca, it may not necessarily cover the very first time. You could see here that I still have quite a bit of the darker gray coming through. So we're going to go over all of this a second time, and I'm going to show you that your Posca will actually cover. And it took me a little while to get this Posca going. I probably need to purchase some more Posca because I use these so often that I think they are probably running out of paint. So I'm trying to get rid of some of that gray or blend a lot of that white right into the gray. Now I'm going to come over this way and I'm going to do the same thing over here. And when I initially did this, oh my gosh, it's not dry. I'm sticking my hand in it. So when I initially did this, this is the Posca pen that I used. This is the much fatter one. I buy these off of Amazon in a pack of 3. so that I get all the different sizes. I'm going to come back over here and do a little bit more here. And then I'm going to come back up to the top. And I don't know how long this acrylic paint is going to take to dry, but I really want to be able to use the glitter. Oh, that looks much better. This pen is working really, really well. A lot of times I struggle or have problems with this smaller pen, and so I always go to my bigger one. But today it seems to be working really, really well. Okay, so now the next place, like I said, that I want to add some of the Posca is I want to get rid of these black lines here. And again, I'm going to go over that with my finger, because I want it to look like it is pulled down just a little bit. And so I will have to go over it just a couple times. I like how that looks much better. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pull it down just a little bit over that green. And then I'm going to tap it. And because it faded it out so much, I probably will come back over that again and add a little bit more of that green. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to do this to probably all of these. And all of these little dots that are in here over where the rainbow colors are, I'm going to come in and I'm going to make all of those white. But anywhere where I have just one of these little curvatures or loop-de-doos, whatever you want to call them, I am just adding white because I'm trying to get rid of all of those black lines, and I'm going to do this over every single bit of it, and I'm just going to continue to pull it down just like that, and then I'm going to go over it again and I'm going to tap. And then when I'm absolutely sure that the Posca is dry, I am going to come back with those colors and I'm going to go right over it again. And all of the little bubbles in here, I haven't decided yet what color I want those to be, but this has just turned into a really fun page. And the stars inside here, I'm going to use the acrylic paint on, but those are going to be gold just like the ribbons up here, so that I'm able to bring that color through and create a little bit of balance on the page. And Posca just adds so much to your coloring pages. I actually have a whole video showing you tips and tricks on how to use Posca. And I will make sure that I link that in the upper right hand corner so that you can find that video, because there's so much you could do with Posca. So we just want to make sure that we do the same thing in here to every one of these. So I'm just pulling and then I'm tapping just to sort of get rid of those black lines. Oh my gosh, y'all, look at my fingers. So when you're using mixed media and you're bringing other things into your coloring pages, it does tend to get a little bit messy, but that is the whole fun of it. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to color these stars with the acrylic paint. And remember, after I'm done coloring in all of these stars, I am going to come back and add glitter on top of them. I'm hoping that the ribbons that I did up here dry fast enough so I can come back and add the stickles and show y'all how that looks. And if y'all want to see me finish this page and my ideas for it and what I do after this, let me know in the comments below, because I will make sure that I pull out the camera as I continue with this page, because who knows what else I will bring out. But look at those gorgeous gold stars, and once they have glitter on top of them, oh my gosh, they're going to be so beautiful. And I really need to decide what I'm going to do with all these little bubbles. So if y'all have any suggestions for all the little bubbles, please let me know in the comments below. I love to use your all's ideas and bring them to my coloring pages and show y'all how to do it. So I'm just trying to get rid of the black lines so that it just looks like a gold star. And after it dries, you can always come back with your Posca and outline that star. And if you decided you wanted to add the black lines back in, you could do that and do the opposite and grab a fine liner and add the black back in and just draw right around the stars. But I'm not going to do that because that's not the look I'm going for, but you could do that on any coloring page. Okay, so I'm going to stop there because I just wanted to show y'all how to add that gold on there. but I'm hoping that it dries so that I could grab my stickles and show y'all how I'm going to do that. But I also plan on adding gold on the outside, so all of these dots, I'm going to go over all this Posca with the gold paint. I may have to use the Posca and go over all the rest of them and then do the gold on top of it so that they all have the same look. I don't know yet, but before I do that, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with this background, because it's really bothering me up here the way that the watercolor came together, and I think that I just had too much water on the page or for this paper, or maybe just not enough color. But I want to do something to the background so that I can fix it and make that look a little bit better. I don't know if I'm going to have to grab the watercolors again or grab just a wet brush and check to see if it lifts the color, but I don't want to mess up my page. So I may attempt to use a whole nother medium and go over the background. I don't know yet. That's going to be a big one. But the other parts that I want gold are going to be all the little decorations that I haven't colored yet. So I wanted all of this blue, and then I'm going to come back in all of these, and I'm going to make all of those gold with the gold paint. So I definitely have a plan for this page. Okay, y'all, so I grabbed my stickles. If y'all don't have stickles yet, you are missing out. These are the most fun to play with. Like, who does not love glitter? Your coloring pages always need to have a little bit of added extra bling, and it just makes it so much more fun. I think I'm gonna grab this color here. It's called Goldenrod, and it is the true gold, and that's really what I want for this. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use the stickles now, and I'm just gonna go right over the acrylic paint. Oh, look how pretty. And look how much it just adds to that gold. It just makes it sparkle and bling, and it's so pretty. And I'm definitely gonna do this on the stars down below as well, because I want lots of glitter and bling on this page. But y'all, I honestly did not think I was gonna finish this page, because after I did the watercolor background, I just wasn't sure. After it dried and I saw all of this here and how the paint came together and just created some of those splotchy marks, it did it again down here. But I know that there's a way to fix it. If everything else looks really good, then that will motivate me to figure out a way to fix it all. And so that's what I'm gonna do. But the acrylic paint was really great to get rid of a lot of those lines, or most of the darker lines. And then I think going over it with the glitter just really makes it pop, and it gives it a lot of depth at the same time. But I'm gonna have to set this aside to dry now that I've added the glitter, because stickles definitely take quite a while to dry, and I don't want them to spread in the other areas of my coloring page, because I still have work to do in those other places. But when you're laying the stickles down, you just sort of drag them when you're doing something like this. They're really easy to work with. But look how pretty that is. And I probably don't have time in this video, but I am going to use the acrylic paint, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to make all of these gold up here, and I'm going to come back and go over those as well with the stickles, and that's really going to help to create balance throughout the whole entire page. And then once I come back and figure out the background, and I'm able to come back and color all of these little dots and stars with the acrylic paint, it's going to add even more balance to the page by bringing more of that gold in. And then I'll probably add a little bit more gold down here in this area somehow, some way. I don't know yet, but these are going to be covered with stickles as well. Everything that I color with gold, I'm going to come back and I'm going to use the goldenrod stickles. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope you're able to apply some of these things or some of these ideas to your coloring pages. I'm going to continue to work on this. If you would like to see more, please let me know in the comments below. But as I continue to work on this page, I'll show you what I'm doing. If there's anything on this page that you want to see me demonstrate on another page, like possibly this gemstone up here, or this rainbow effect I got here where I made this what I would call rainbow dust, please let me know that in the comments as well. And everything that you've seen in this video will be in the description box below so that you could easily find it. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coloring. Bye.